Hey guys, welcome back for another track guide for the V8 veterans for round 3 from Zolder Racecourse. Alright guys, for the track guide from Zolder Circuit this week, I'm running a 50.8% brake bias and I did a 1.29.38 for my quickest time so far. I think I could probably get another 10th, maybe 15th off that if I keep a couple of corners a little bit smoother, but that's what I'm running so far. So we'll get into the track guide here. I've got on the left hand side just to because I go up next to the right hand side wall up here so I can show you where I'm braking. It's coming down the main straight here guys, all the way up into 6th gear. So at those flags on the right there, as you'll see up here, these flags here, that's my brake marker basically. If you see my foot on the brake a little bit earlier than that, it's just my foot resting. I probably shouldn't do it, but it's just resting there ready to get on the brake. I try to consciously keep my foot off the brake so I'm not slowing the car down, but yeah, I tend to do it all the time. But yeah, those flags on the right there, the last one, that's where I start getting off the accelerator and on the brakes. As you'll see here, from 6th gear, off the accelerator, on the brakes. Back to 5th, back to 4th, and then back to 3rd. Now, setting up this left-hand corner, you want to stay in a straight line and take it more of a 90-degree corner. A lot of people will get off the brakes, off the accelerator on the brakes here, and just start trailing in early to hit their apex, and then like they'll drift through, and then still not on the accelerator, set up the line of the exit, and then start accelerating. What you want to do is brake in a straight line to basically the end of this my mouse isn't working, to the end of the Coca-Cola sign here in a straight line and then trail off into the corner as you'll see here. So back to all the way back down to 3rd, trailing off, hitting your apex and accelerating as you hit your apex. As you'll see here, all the way back down, hitting your, I'm off the brake before the apex there and then accelerating out as hard as I can. So coming up to this next right-hander, this can be a bit of a tricky one. A lot of people will want to hang right out here and take it really late. Basically with any circuit, the more of the track you use, the slower you're going to go under most circumstances, I've noticed. So with the V8s, I've noticed you want to take a later apex, but if you come in a little bit early, you still get a good run out of the corner, and it will tend to knock off a bit of time. You just got to watch your exit as to how tight it is. Because if you do come in early on the entry and then drifting out on the exit, and it's nice and tight, you will lose time there once again. But this is my line through this corner, so I tend to brake in a straight line once again, and then just set it up for a 90-degree to hit that curb there on the right, and then setting up the exit. So I'm in 4th here, I go back to 3rd. Once again, get on the brakes first, just to steady the front end of the car, and then back to 3rd, and then looking for your apex. So coming into the 2nd corner here, back to 3rd, just touching that brake just to get the arse end of the car around, just so I can set up that apex and just be nudging that curb just there to keep it nice and tight to maximize time, and then hitting that apex and once again accelerating out as hard as you can. Just watch when you accelerate out here. I've noticed I was hitting my apex and then accelerating out as hard as I could, and it was drifting me all the way out here, which was fine, and it was getting me around the corner. But I noticed if I just stay off and just gradually get back on the accelerator, it's probably wheel spin as well, but it gets you around the corner and knocks off like a 1/5 of a 10th, like a 10th or half of that off your time coming out of here. So just sort of keep that in mind as well, guys, when you are setting up your exit. It's coming out of here in 3rd, up into 4th, up into 5th. I'm staying in 5th all the way around here. And then just coming up to this next right-hander, you'll see this little piece of road on the left here. That's my brake marker, basically. Once again, I've got my foot resting on the brake, but that's where I want to start braking. Probably just before, about half a car length before it actually. Get off the accelerator, on the brakes. Once again, before you downshift, so off the accelerator, on the brakes, getting it set, and then down to 4th, shifting down to 4th, and then trailing off. So this corner I've found is much like Jerez last week. So you come into your 1st corner, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, probably that 5th, that big right-hand sweeper, 5th on Jerez. This one's basically like that one. If you can set it up like that, so go back down your gear, trail off into the corner, hitting your curb on the right there, and then accelerating out, much like that one last week, you'll pretty much get this one down pat. So without further ado, jump into this one. So back down to 4th gear, trailing across there, hitting your apex nice and tight, and accelerating out as hard as you can. So coming down the little back straight here, this corner down here, as everyone probably knows, is pretty much your make or break for the circuit. It's a really pain in the ass corner, but if you get it right, you'll take a lot of time off your lot of time off your time basically. Yeah, get yourself a better overall run. So coming down the back straight here, I look for my 100. Once again, I'm on my brakes just slightly, but I've got to keep that in mind not to do that. But basically at the 100, maybe even just before, guys, setting that one up. So you're all the way up into sixth gear here. You go fifth, fourth, third. I stay in third. Don't go back down to second. In a straight line, spotting my curb on the left, basically just nicking it and then taking about half a car length out of the next right-hand curb. Once you're halfway through the first and second curbs, get back on the accelerator just that little bit just to keep the car stable. Get over that next curb and then start accelerating out. Just watch it because the car will be a little bit unstable here. So this is how I do it, all the way back down to third. Off the brakes completely, through there, start accelerating just gradually out of that one and just power out of that as hard as you can without losing the arse end. Obviously, I stay over to the right-hand side of the hill here. Just watch it coming over that hill. It can get a little bit unstable if you're on the right-hand side there. Coming down to this next one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm all the way up into fifth gear here. Taking more of a late to mid apex on this next little left-hand sweeper just to set up the next right-left chicane. So as I said, I'm all the way up into fifth gear, coming across nice and tight on the curb there. Basically the end of that curb on the left there, that's my brake marker. Probably will be with everyone else. I've tried to brake later, like about here, start braking. It works, like you can definitely do it, but it just unstables the car too much for me. As you can see, I'm running a further forward brake bias, so it does keep it a bit more stable, but still I get really unstable and untidy coming into this corner. Just washes off too much time. So I use the end of the brake, the left curb there, as my brake marker, and then once again in a straight line, all the way back down to second for this one, guys, in a straight line, back down to second, and then I was hanging back out here and then trying to keep right and then come back across left. I've noticed if you just sort of, cut it across more on this angle, don't drop your tyres on the right sausage curbs here or the left sausage curbs, you will get a penalty. But keeping that as tight as you can to those sausage curbs, coming into mid-track through here, once again really close to the sausage curbs, and then mid-track coming out of it, as you'll see here in second gear, tight as you can. Just flowing that, you want to flow that speed through there. You don't want to be stopping on, off through there. You want to keep up just a constant momentum through there. As my man Jeffy would say, just keep the car flowing. Don't, jang on the brakes, go on the accelerator, off the brakes. You just keep the car flowing and don't overdrive the circuit. As Jeff keeps saying to me, don't overdrive it, don't go too hard. You'll notice if you're trying to get on the accelerator, you think, more accelerator, I'm going faster. Most of the time, you're just drifting the car out. You're going sideways more than forwards. So just keep that in mind, guys. It is a circuit that you can overdrive, so you will lose a bit of time with that. So coming out here, sort of trying to keep more mid-track here, just to set up the next one. Once again, keeping nice and close to those sausage curbs on the right. Nice and tight there. So I'm all the way through there in second. I basically power through there, hit this curb, set up my exit, and then I'm shifting third basically on the apex, or as I'm coming out of the apex, or out of that right-hander, I shift third, a bit of a short shift, just to get maximum run out of here. So I'm off the accelerator, shift third, and then powering out really hard, because I've noticed that gives you a good shoot out of the corner. Same with this next one on the right. So I'm coming out of here in third, off the accelerator here, coming across, hitting as tight to that curb as I can, but just as you can see there, I come down to about half acceleration. Once I notice I'm through and I'm about to power out, I hit fourth, as you see here, back to half, nice and tight on the curb there. So I'm coming out here, I'm hitting fourth, I short shift fourth, and then power out of that as hard as I can. I've noticed that gives me another good little kick out of the corner, rather than trying to hold higher revs through there and like really drifting through there basically. So once again, trying to go forward rather than sideways. So coming out of there in fourth gear, up into fifth. Watch that one coming over the hill there. You can get a little bit of a kick at the arse end. Not too bad once you sort of get it all under control. You've done it about 100 times. So coming down to this right hand, what looks like a hairpin. I often follow myself around on my hot lap in chopper cam just to see how what the corners are like, whether they are actually 190 degree hairpins or whatever they are. This one isn't 190 degrees, which I actually thought it was close to, but it's more of a, what would you call, 140, 150, something like that. So just keep that one in mind there, guys. So about a car length before this 100-meter sign on the left up here, that's where I start braking. You can go a little bit later. You can go on the 100-meter if you're going to bomb someone. Probably wouldn't recommend it. A little bit risky, but it can be done. So about a car length before the 100 here, yeah. I'm all the way up into fifth. I go all the way back down to second. So coming down here in a straight line, braking all the way. I was trying to come pretty much parallel with the corner at one stage, and then coming right around and keep getting a late apex to get a run out of. But I was noticing for some reason, yeah, I wasn't picking up time. I started just coming in just that half a car length a little bit earlier, trying to hit my apex. I've come in a little bit too early on this run, and taken too much of the curb. So if you just go a smidge later, and yeah, just come in that little bit earlier, hit your mid apex, and then getting the car around. And make sure you get your car completely turned around this one before you start accelerating out. Maybe get on the accelerator a little bit just to keep the car stable, but really get on it once your car's completely around the corner and accelerating out. So just coming around here, guys, getting back on it about there, coming out of it, and then just, yeah, powering down the back straight here. So all the way up into fifth gear, I hold fifth gear, setting up for this next left-hander, or the last left-right corner before the straight. So once again at the 100, on the brakes, as I said, I'm staying in fifth. It will rev out on the rev limiter a little bit, but don't worry about that. Back to fourth, all the way back down to second in a straight line once again. So this is pretty much straightforward into this corner. So all the way down, coming across, hitting your apex, more of a mid apex there. So you want to, I was coming in later apex, and then I'll just come forward a little bit here. I was coming around and then trying to stay over here and then setting up the run like that. I've noticed if you come in the way I've just done there, keeping it nice and tight to these sausage curbs, and then aiming for here, just going straight across, in second gear, you can stay on the accelerator through the mid part of this corner in second gear, and then as you come around here on this sausage curb, there's a little bit of a run out, like a concrete run out. Aim for that bit and short shift third, and then just get on the gas as hard as you can out of that one. Just watch your RSN, can tap out, but I've noticed doing it like that, short shifting third and then accelerating out gradually, you get a really good run out of it. So as you can see, just aiming straight for that one, coming across, keeping it nice and tight there. And there's a little just past where you can't see, I'll see if I can come back. No, you can't see it. Just past the curb on the right there, there's a little greying bit of concrete. You can keep your right hand tyres on that just to use the maximum amount of track on this side, just so you can get a good run out and use most of the track coming down the main straight here. So coming in through here, short shifting third, and then just accelerating out. Don't hit that dirt on the left. You will lose the arse end and you will lose a lot of time. That's another track guide, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a thumbs up if you did, and stick around for the lap in real time in both views. Thanks, guys. See you in the race on Thursday. Cheers.